Hello again, everybody. I'm Matthew White, and welcome to another edition of FYI, right here from the Real Estate Channel studios in Vancouver. I'm pleased to have in the studio with me today Jeff Fitzpatrick from Remax Crest West Side. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Basically, you're a new member to the Real Estate Channel as well. Welcome
Yes,
aboard.
Sir. Excited to be here.
Excellent, excellent. I wanted to start off by asking you the basic sort of getting to know you type of question of how you actually got into the industry.
Sure. Well, you know, I've always had a keen interest in real estate. Everybody needs a place to live, and so I've been talking to a lot of people about where they were living and that sort of thing. And I figured that having a passion for something like that and being able to help people realize their dreams was kind of something that could sound exciting. So took the plunge. Here I am.
Now, when you actually took the actual course itself, did you find it overwhelming at first, or was it something that you had affinity for type of thing?
Getting the material is actually fairly easy to digest. I was able to bang it off in just a couple of weeks. So, yeah.
Good, good. We talk to a lot of realtors about trends, as it is a multi-billion-dollar a year operation, real estate. Does a good agent have to pay attention to the actual close attention to trends, in your opinion?
Absolutely. I think that a good agent, I think, takes the stance that you're not only someone that's helping someone purchase a home or sell a home. What they're doing is they're actually providing consultations on one of the greatest investments that they're going to have. So paying attention to those economic indicators can give them a really good sense of exactly where their investment's going. There's different things to pay attention to. Obviously, you can take a look at inflation, interest rates, what's going on in the current active markets, specific pockets, are they more active than others? How do those flesh out from a price perspective? Where are the trends going? All those types of things, I think, can give you a really, really good handle on where that investment's going to be moving forward. Obviously, crystal ball talk is a little bit of a problem because we don't know what's going to happen down the road. But if you pay attention to some of these trends, maybe you can be able to forecast, be able to give somebody a clear idea on exactly what they're getting themselves into.
Well, when it comes to cyclical patterns and economic changes, how closely do you pay attention to those trends?
Well, I pay very close attention to it. You have to take everything with a certain grain of salt. Taking a look at the media and that sort of thing, there's a movement towards, some people are jumping up and down and saying everything's going to be positive moving forward. Then there's the other side of the coin that say that everything's going to crash and there's a bubble and all these different types of things. So I think you need to take everything in and try to be able to, balance everything off with regards to some of those credible sources and some of those sources that may be out on the outside of those, general parameters, and then get a clear sense of exactly where you feel that the market's going to be relative to everything that you've heard. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that we talk about the numbers aspect of things and paying close attention to the trend aspects, but yet when it comes to real estate and purchasing real estate, it is one of the largest and most stressful things a person could do in their life. I think it's right up there with marriage and deaths in the family and things like that. So other than the number aspect of things, what do you do to sort of, be there for your clients? I mean, I guess you have to be almost part bartender, psychiatrist type of thing as well.
Well, it's interesting. A lot of the time when you spend so much time with someone and you actually consummate a deal and they move in and that sort of thing, you're not spending as much time. It's a little weird. It's kind of like you've broken up with your client.
Right, yeah. Gotta check in.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing that I try to pay very, very close attention to is to maintain an open dialogue with regards to what they're trying to accomplish. Where are their goals at? Short, mid-term, and long-term. So then we can have a frank discussion of exactly, what are they looking for currently, and then moving forward, how is what we're going to be able to accomplish short-term going to be able to satisfy what they're going to do long-term. So having an open dialogue with regards to exactly what they're trying to accomplish is definitely something that I pay close attention to.
Then the painful breakup at the end. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, you have to move on.
No, yeah.
Now, how do you think your sensitivity to trends in the market would help your individual client?
Well, certainly when they're looking for something, having a keen sense of exactly what to anticipate currently. If we're looking in a very, very mature market, for example, downtown Vancouver, the price sustainability is a little bit different than, say, something that may be in a little bit more of a tumultuous location, say, on the east side of Vancouver, where there may be a pocket that's not as active. So I'd love to be able to have a keen sense and, participate with the buyer and the seller to let them know, the way that the market's currently operating right now, this is what we can expect, from a value perspective, how quickly the property is going to move or how quickly we have to jump on something if we're looking for something and that sort of thing. And really, I think what it is just kind of ensuring that you're empowering the client with as much knowledge or as much information as possible so that they can make a very well-informed decision. My job here is to not help anybody make decisions. It's to empower them with the knowledge so that they feel, that they can make the best informed decision possible. Yeah.
How are you finding the clients perhaps have changed over the years? Are becoming more educated in the system? You
Oh,
have
for
to
sure.
inform them less.
Certainly, the
perhaps?
internet, the advent of the proliferation of the internet has brought on a certain level of sophistication to some people. Take a look at it. I believe the last statistic I saw, 75% of all buyers are first introduced to the property via the internet.
Right.
Right. So there's now a movement from an agent's perspective of, as opposed to introducing them first to a property, it's now more of a value add. You're trying to add value in the whole process of tendering that negotiation. So the internet is bringing on much, much more sophistication, and that's encouraging as far as I'm concerned. Because when you take a look at someone that has an intimate knowledge of the marketplace already, it makes everybody can maintain a little bit more of a sensitivity to what we're trying to accomplish, and there's more time spent on trying to actually focus in on what we're trying to accomplish,
right,
as opposed to trying to learn different types of things. So yeah, it's definitely a movement in a positive direction.
Now, when you're actually developing a game plan for selling a home, what do you focus on there?
Oh, questions. I become the listener.
Right, the bartender.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
the bartender part, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
There's a whole plethora of different opportunities out there. And so what I try to get a sense of is, for sure, try to get a keen idea on what they're trying to look for, what they're trying to accomplish, and then how I can add value in that whole process.
So I guess there has to be a sort of an underlying sensitivity to what the client needs.
Oh, there has to be. There has to be, yeah, for sure. There's, tons and tons of agents out there, and everybody addresses it differently. The perspective that I definitely want to take is, why am I here and how can I add value?
Jeff Fitzpatrick, thank you very much for coming on FYI, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
To contact Jeff directly, call 604-612-6120 or visit his website at www.6126120.com.